Yeah, so this is Uncle Mike's house, and you are about to tune in to the podcast that ain't your daddy's podcast. It's your Uncle Mike's podcast. But to stay on point, this is the podcast I did with Kaddy Kobain. Now, there is a short intro that I will be cutting due to audio issues that my newbie ass could not fix. So I'm just redoing a little intro just to let you guys know what happened and why it sounds weird. I cut it because it was too much for y'all ears to deal with, okay? And I'm helping you guys out. But most of the matter of fact, 98% of the podcast is still there. It's gonna jump in a little weird, but y'all get the gist. And hopefully next time I won't have this problem. There's still some loud pops here and there, but otherwise it's pretty taken care of. So enjoy and welcome to motherfucking Uncle Mike's house, bitch. So I brought you on here so we could get the full story of Kaddy Kobain, man. I want you to take us back to the beginning, bro. Where did it start? Where did the dream begin, bro?
Actually, I was just telling my girlfriend a whole bunch of stories, especially about you, because if the listeners don't know, we've been down for like a long time.
Bro, it don't even feel like that long, but when you think about it, it's almost a slick decade almost. It's almost a slick decade.
Like, no, it has been definitely a decade for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We are 10 plus in, bro. We're real friends.
For real. In real life. In real life.
Real life friends. So, basically, the music started, like, the music's always been in me. You know what I mean? My mom was a singer, unofficial, you know, she's no, like, name dropper or anything, but she definitely got them pipes.
Hey.
And she sang to me like a couple weeks ago, so she still got the pipes.
Still got it.
You dig? Pipes have not been broken yet. My dad, he was a producer and a label owner for Moffitt. I forgot what it was called. It was either Moffitt Records or Moffitt ENT.
Damn.
I'm glad I did not go that route. You know what I'm saying? I still love that nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Anyway, so, you know, music's always been in me. I was into trouble a lot when I was a kid, you know, in my younger years. We started the group RBK, which was really my brother Rachi's his group before, and then I just kind of jumped in and just did the beats and shit.
Is that where, like, you first started laying shit down at?
Yeah, that was basically, like, when I first got introduced to, and I want to say this was, like, 06.
Drop them dates, cuz. Drop them dates.
So, yeah, it was 06. When I first learned about, like, my brother Rachi put me on Fruity Loops, and then I took off from there. He was still rapping. I was already rapping. I was already writing, you know, and started killing shit. But with Speed Up, I was doing shit for, like, a long time, but, you know, being in Lafayette, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit'll bring a motherfucker to shreds. Because there's no scene, like,
yeah, there's none.
It's no, and I won't even lie, like, there are a lot of people trying to make the scene, you dig? Like,
yeah, no, it's
Kofi's in
for
there,
sure.
definitely. You know what I mean?
It's not for lack of effort.
You said what?
I said it's not for lack of effort. It's just not, hasn't really happened.
Right. And plus it's so many different artists that are getting mixed messages. That's the fucked up thing about being in the Midwest, is that you get mixed messages. Because you get all the messages.
Right.
Because you are in the midway of everything.
Everything.
Niggas in Cleveland are doing different shit. Niggas in Cleveland are, like, battling still. You know what I'm saying? Like, real rap battle shit.
Yeah.
You know, niggas in Detroit are on some shit. Niggas in Nap on some shit. Niggas in Fort Wayne. you know, they're getting that Detroit feel because they're right there.
Right there.
You know, and South Bend niggas are on the same, but they're like also not. They don't even know what the fuck is going on.
Gunning heads
and
already.
Then, you know, you got Chicago.
Yeah.
And niggas from Lafayette go to Chicago all the time, or niggas from Chicago are going to Lafayette.
Yeah. So it's like,
you know,
it's like the Midwest is
a real feel.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And then you got niggas like you who got like that conscious mindset, but like the Mac Miller type shit, you know what I mean? Like you like lyrics.
Right.
So it's like really, it's like Lafayette's a melting pot, but the funny thing is Atlanta's also a melting pot. It is not all it's cracked up to be in Atlanta, bro.
But there's definitely
like,
a scene down there.
I'm not now get when I say this, I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing.
Right.
Because it's not. It's a good thing if you want to be an actual artist. Like this is turning into the new Hollywood, like for real. Nigga, they just did a Jesse McCarthy movie or Melissa McCarthy movie down the street from me type shit.
Damn.
At a place I eat fajitas at. You know what I'm saying? They like shut that bitch down. I was gonna go get my motherfucking fajita on. They like, nah. Melissa McCarthy's filming a movie in there.
In the
like,
building.
what? Fuck is going on?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's all about work ethic. Like niggas have to have a real work ethic.
Yeah.
And read fucking books.
Knowledge.
just throwing that out there.
For sure. So how long was it between the you and the Rip group, the RBK, right? Rubber Band Click. I got that right?
Yeah.
How long between that and us meeting?
Alright. Sorry.
Break it down.
Yeah, that gas is unreal. Never smoked sour diesel. No, I'm lying.
Infomercial.
Sour diesel. That shit's awesome. Anyway, so wait, what was the question?
How long between the spell of RBK to us meeting? Like, what happened in between there? How long was that?
To me and you meeting?
Yeah.
Oh my, that was like damn near like 3 months.
It felt like forever.
That shit like yesterday.
Yeah.
It was like damn near. It was like because I got there in July. So yeah, no. Matter of fact, it was like the month after. Cause I got to Lafayette in July. School started in what, August?
Yep.
And that was when I met you. I met motherfucking Mac. I met who else? Oh my God, why am I forgetting his name? Big and Tasty.
Drop it.
Still blowing smoke out. Fucking Alex, I met all you niggas in the parking lot because y'all was them fresh boys back then. Yeah, nigga, I'm putting shit on the air now.
Hey, that was not me. That was they shit.
Who was them fresh boys?
Never. Never.
All right, I'm about to three-way Mac.
Google
see what
it.
the fuck going on? Like, hey, this nigga a member
or not?
But anyway. So it was always like we used to go to them Boys and Girls Club parties and shit.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers would be performing. Remember we used to go to? Did you ever go with us to Logansport when we did shows?
I don't think so. What was that? What were those like?
Oh man, those were the days. I'll just say, yeah, shit was popping back then. Niggas be talking about, you know. The 2-on-1, but
hey,
you know what I mean? They be talking about that shit like it's cool. I'm like, nigga, I've been doing this shit, man. But we've been going in. Like you definitely been going in. You one of the artists that I can honestly say I honestly respect and know.
I appreciate that.
And know like.
Personally.
Potentially, you gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? If I don't sign you, somebody else will by that time. You dig what I'm saying? And when I come to you, I ain't gonna come to you with nothing. I'm coming to you with that
something.
bag. You're like,
That bag.
right.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard your sound, I was like, you didn't sound like you had anything to work on, really. Everything sounded well put together. You definitely had bars. You was making beats. I'm like, this. Usually when someone's doing everything, something's lacking, and everything you were doing was on point. And I was like, God damn.
Damn. Well, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I always, I think the one thing that artists should always have in them, is not necessarily be a self-doubter, but always think that you could do more.
Oh, for sure. I get stagnant real quick.
Because even when I listen to beats, I'll like hum something extra that I'm like, damn, I should have put that shit in there. But then I'm like, nah, because motherfuckers is fucking with it anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's whatever. But definitely.
So what came first, the beats or the rapping, or was it both just at the same time?
It honestly was the rapping.
Mm-hmm.
I was rapping before anything. I was just like, I was a good penman, and I was always reading. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I was always around, all the bad shit. So niggas was talking about shit, and I was like,
in it.
In young age, I wasn't like doing it, but I was definitely involved.
You were on the scene, if that.
Yeah, always been involved. Like I even as a kid, like I hated hanging out with motherfuckers my age. Even now, I be trying to hang out with niggas who's like 50. I swear to God, nigga, you see my entourage, you gonna be like, these niggas definitely got that bag.
Got that bag.
I swear to God, niggas is paying off houses.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Motherfuckers I used to hang out with fucking couldn't even get rent. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's my motivation is being around motherfuckers like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, I've always been a guy that was about right music and wrong music because, like, when I was growing up, my dad would listen to rock music, but my mom would listen to R&B and rap and shit. So, like, my mom would put me on Wu-Tang, and my dad would put me on Smashing Pumpkins. My mom would put me on Keith Sweat, and my dad was putting me on Nine Inch Nails. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, whenever I got to see whenever I was on either one side, I was always getting something different, and I realized that there's, it's not about the box that they put it in. It's, is it good or not? You know what I'm saying? Does it attack my ears?
Right. It's not about the genre, it's about the quality.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like, if if somebody had a choice or didn't have a choice, like motherfuckers who you know what I mean, like used to go to county and shit. Like you go to county jail and like county jail's worse, love yet. You go there and fucking you have to listen to the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You have to. Like it is. Or you're gonna die.
You're gonna die, yeah.
You're gonna die.
It's over.
Like Quincy Jones said it best. Like without water in music, you're dead.
Damn.
You're just dead.
Damn.
Like there's two things you can't live without in this world, and that's water and music. Like, can you picture a world that you can't make a rhythmic sound?
I mean,
you know what I'm
for sure,
like,
for
or
sure.
Hear one from someone else, I would be ready to go.
I'm out.
I'd be ready.
Taking my water and I'm leaving. Yeah, because I could definitely.
I don't even need Crystal Light packs. You know what I'm saying? Give me the water straight.
For
dig?
Don't dilute it. I need it straight.
I'm saying, man.
Yeah, because I can definitely hear the rock influences in your music, and that's something I always appreciate with any artist when it's not so one dimensional. You can hear the influences that have impacted their life, so it's impacting their music. I think that's a show of a good artist because it's showing you, and you are more than one thing. You have so many influences going on. It shows through.
Right. And that's what great artists make. You know what I mean? Like all these great artists that we see that are like really, you know what I mean? Because like people are trying to get where I'm at. I'm trying to get where somebody else is at. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all climbing this ladder of, greatness.
Mm-hmm.
So since, you know what I mean, I have to, and even if no one is following me, I have to make people want to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I have to make people, need to, because I have all this information, and I'm like, y'all motherfuckers need to know this shit. You know?
Soak
like,
something up.
Every time I've been in the studio with anybody, you know what I mean? My main goal is to not only make myself better, but make somebody else better in there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be something, them, learning how to make my voice better, or learning how to keep up with me on the rhymes, or, any of that shit.
So let's take it from Lafayette to ATL. What's the big differences? Because I know here it feels like everyone comes up to you when they find out that you rap, and they rap all of a sudden. So I feel like down there it's got to be 10 times bigger.
It's fucking 10 times worse. It's 10 times saturated. Like, I swear to God, bro, Mike, niggas is out here on the block rapping for donations, bro.
Word?
I never thought I swear to God, niggas is out here rapping for donations. Like, to anybody, tourists, regular niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like, homeless people, everybody. It's crazy. Niggas are, like, out here with CDs, you know what I mean? Let me get a donation. Let me get a donation. Like, it's like going to a fucking rap convention every day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
goddamn, next level. And how does that...
swear to God. But at the same time, on the flip side of the coin, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have venues, you have, you know what I mean, like this, like everybody's got their own like circle. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's different places where different people hang out. You know, there's strip clubs everywhere. You know, it literally everywhere. Like there's like underground strip clubs that I've been around. You know what I'm saying? Like Atlanta be popping, and there's always something going on. So in that, it's like a machine. Like Atlanta is a machine. Like, and it's getting bigger by the day. So when you come to Atlanta, you know, a lot of people tell people not to come to Atlanta, but it's like, don't come to Atlanta unless you have the mindset that you want to be bigger than Atlanta. Because Atlanta will train you to be bigger than Atlanta.
That's a dope way to put it.
Like, for real. Like, when you get here, like, you're around so many motherfuckers. Like, my first week of, like, staying here, I meet one of, Future's label mate motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, the nigga who's under him, like, he's free band. Like, I'm meeting free bands artists off the top. Like, I'm in Little Mexico.
Damn.
Like, for real. The shit was crazy. Like, I'm on Kirkwood, like, around Taliban gang niggas, FBG niggas. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shout out to Don Juan. Like, that's that nigga. But, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm selling beats in the trap house.
Are you getting from a producer standpoint? Are you getting way more business down there, or like what?
I think now that and that's really another reason why Trip Utero was getting has finally been pushed to the point of like its release is because so many niggas see my music, like they see the beats, but they don't know how to approach them. Like they're almost unapproachable. Like I've been in beat battles, like and beat, you know what I mean? Like, and they do a lot of shit for producers down here too, which is awesome. You know what I mean? And different artists, like open mics. You got Bonfire, fucking Takeoff, ATL, and they like giving away slots. You know, they know how this shit works. Like you got promoter dudes, you got fucking, you know what I mean, managers. Like people are becoming things here. You know what I mean? Instead of, you know what I mean, instead of just being like, oh, this is just my buddy. It's like, no, nigga, you my manager now. Right. You know what I mean? Like my girl, she's like COO of Trip House. Hey. You know what I mean? Like she's like, I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna, you know what I mean, be down, and we're gonna do this shit together. Like she be sending me shit, you know what I mean, every 5 minutes about, you know, elected press kits and you know, gigs, shit like that. Like she wants me to succeed as much as I do. So, you know, it makes people want to get in place.
So where did
you have to have a team?
For sure, the support is like, it's a must, especially when you're by yourself. Your thoughts can really get to you, and when you have that team behind you, like, hey, bro, like it makes such a big difference.
Big difference, bro. Big difference.
So where did the idea of like Trip House come from? Where did it start? And like, you know, the brainchild. How did it come up?
This is the true story about
True.
About a year ago, probably a year and a half ago. I started taking psychedelics.
Hey.
And I tried this thing called 2CB, and this is actually where like Cadillac, because you know that my beginning name was Cadillac. Cadillac Kid, but this is the point where it changed from Cadillac to Kaddy Kobain.
Hey.
Now I was like dead broke. Like I didn't even tell anybody this shit though. I was like broke. I had moved out. I moved out of you know, the relationship I was in with somebody, and I was like, she like fucked my life up. So I was to a point of like, do I get depressed or do I do something? And I got drunk one night, basically.
Not Kaddy.
And I began this like grungy phase of like, I didn't care what I dressed like. I dressed different. Like I was just like doing whatever because I was like, this is what I like. This shit looks cool on me. You know what I mean? These people are cool. You know, I started moving away from the people that I was fucking with, you know, because they weren't really helping me. You know, so I needed to find, I was like, these people aren't, you know, doing shit for me. So let me find out who is fucking with me like that. So I started fucking, you know, around with the Purdue students and shit.
Hey. Yeah, this is when I started seeing you on campus all the time, and you was like, you would be in the hookah bar just making beats. I'm like, what the fuck is even happening? Like, I was like, this is crazy right now. This is crazy.
So basically, like, I began this trippy phase. I was like trying things. I was being really experimental. I was doing different substances. You know, I was hanging with different people, definitely fucking with different females than I usually do, which was, it definitely opened a nigga's lifestyle up immediately. But that's another Mike's house.
That's a different Mike's house.
That's an Uncle Mike uncut. That's the late night Mike. Late night Mike.
That's when the street lights come on. You come on down to Uncle Mike's house and we talk about it.
No, but so I did this shit one day, and I was just like, I kept telling people I was Jimmy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was funny as fuck. Like, I was tripping the fuck out.
Jimmy?
And I was like, fuck technology. This is what Jimi Hendrix would look at the world like. I'm Jimmy.
Damn.
And trust, I'm not encouraging people to do drugs because, you know, they don't, you know, go to everybody. But if you do them
responsibly.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so I started making. This was when I made Between the Lines, and I told my brother Raji because he wanted me to get on his next project. He wanted to do a project together, and I was like, I don't think I can. And he was like, why? And I was like, I don't think I'm rapping anymore. I said it literally just like that. I was like, I don't think I'm rapping anymore. I'm not rapping anymore. Like, I stopped rapping at parties. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything was stop.
Done. Yeah.
So I started to listen more to like rock and shit again, and listen to the Bleach album over.
Classic.
And I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Because people, after I got this grungy phase, every time I would go around people, like, you know what I mean, like the trap guys and shit, they'd be like, this nigga trying to be Kurt Kobain and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I had ripped pants and I was just wearing whatever. Motherfuckers was like, this nigga's trying to be Kurt Kobain. So then I was like, wait, Kaddy Kobain.
Hey.
What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And then I was just like, that's the name forever.
Forever.
Like,
That's it.
It was over. And I was like, and I really had to get into the mind of who I was becoming, you know, not like full-fledged, like, you know, I was like shooting up or nothing. You know,
the good parts of Cobain.
I was looking at his like rhyme patterns, you know, like I was watching documentaries and shit. Like I was in this nigga's mind. Like I know a lot of shit about that nigga and Nirvana as a whole, Chris Novoselic and Dave Grohl. So yeah. Like I did research. I had to, like, when you're trying to recreate yourself, you have to do things that you haven't done yet, you know, and, you know, be a person that you weren't yesterday, you know. So when people say, you know, and a lot of people get this shit when they're coming up, because I definitely got that shit. Motherfuckers like, you changed, you know, blah, blah, blah. Right. It's like, yeah, I fucking changed because what was going on before was not working all the way, you know what I mean, or the way I wanted it to. So yeah, I fucking changed. You know, like how do you get better and not change?
For sure.
Can somebody tell me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
can somebody tell me?
Yeah. So and then so. All that shit happened when I was still in Lafayette. So I was making the change when I was in Lafayette. But, you know, it wasn't enough. Like, I made Between the Lines when I was still there, like, a year ago. And, you know, it was getting a lot of love here, but niggas weren't understanding it there. But you know what I mean? I was getting niggas to catch on.
Right.
Because I was getting niggas on the trippy vibe.
Hey.
They was like, oh yeah, let's get trippy now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And because, you know, it was bringing a lot of attention to... Because niggas was seeing that I was in the scene they wanted to be in. Like, I was in the college scene. Like, I would go places that niggas couldn't even go. Yeah. Like, when 308 came out, I was walking through the door, no problem. Niggas was getting patted down when they was coming through that thing.
Bro, you used to know everybody, bro. I would see you.
I mean, I still do.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this shit, like, and thank you to Qdoba and motherfuck Chipotle. I'm saying that on the air, because fuck that place.
They are not a sponsor.
When I was working, but it also helped that I was working at Qdoba and shit because
on campus.
So many motherfuckers would come through there drunk as hell, and they're like, "You're cool in a bitch. Come to my party."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I go to the party, and I'm like, "Oh, these niggas run for Purdue. What the fuck?" You know what I mean? Like,
right. And that wasn't your scene like a year before, so it's like new to you.
Yeah, it was like, okay, I want to be around the people that are going to change the world, not corrupt that bitch, or not worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Or keep watching the Kardashians or Love and Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, I was so tired of motherfuckers talking about Love and Hip Hop because I thought that shit was fucking stupid.
Yeah, I never got into
it.
I mean?
Like, I was like, and now I know the fucking guy who films that shit. What the fuck?
Really?
I swear to God. Kelly's my guy. I actually seen that dude last week at the Highlands. That shit was crazy.
That was dope.
But like switching my circle and getting to know people that even they at the time felt like they were, meaningless. They were meaningful. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like people who are industrial engineers, people that are trying to make something, trying to create. You know what I mean? I figured that that's the people that I wanted to be around, and they looked at my shit and they were like, "This shit's fucking awesome." Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they used to come to shows. Like even my best friends, like right now, like Matt and Tina, who are together now. I met these motherfuckers. I was friends with them for like 3-4 months, and now, you know what I'm saying? Like we're best friends for life, and they come to shows. They support anything I do. Like instead of the niggas who are still trying to figure out what I'm trying to do. Right. There's people that are appreciative of what you do already, and you know what I mean? Like fuck. Like sometimes you have to switch your circle to make everything make sense.
When you did the switch up, was there any hesitance at all? Were you like, man, this is new, this is different, this isn't what I'm used to, or was it just all gung ho?
Well, there was a person I was with at the time that I'm no longer with. She actually still lives there. Who was going to Purdue too, and she put me on to a lot of motherfuckers, and those motherfuckers put me on to some motherfuckers, and then I'd see those people out, and then they'd introduce me to more motherfuckers. They're like, "This motherfucker's cool as hell. He does blah 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 blah," and he's, you know what I mean, like, and then it just made this effect of, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm cool where it matters. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I won't even say where it matters. I'm going to say I was cool where people actually genuinely cared.
And you felt that difference.
Wanted to get involved. Yeah. Instead of watch from the sidelines, they wanted to actually be a part of the franchise. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or they're like, when you drop your mixtape, let me know. You know what I'm saying? And would ask me, like, relentless. Nigga, I would be on the job and niggas would be asking, when's the blah, 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 blah. Like, niggas was listening to my beat. That's like, dope. Whole ass students. They were like, this nigga is dope, bro.
That's dope.
And then they put me on to people, and then so on and so forth.
I've noticed that through talking to people. It's like you get the stagnant part of it. It feels like it lasts so long, but when you finally hit that stride, everything happens so quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was even like that here. Like I was going after the wrong crowd in the beginning, and then once I started to be like, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna make my own crowd. Hey. And started putting that shit to, people that we fucked with that was at the same parties and did the same shit that we did. I realized that, oh shit, there's a crowd for this. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can make music about the shit that we're already doing, and then people will party to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when Like, we've met some like, I've met some motherfuckers, like, I'm cool. Like, I met Father this year, Lord Narv, like, the whole
Damn.
Awful Records, like, them dudes are cool as hell, and they booming. They just got an RCA deal.
Damn.
So, like, yeah,
Damn.
like, this motherfucker went from, you know, like, they house McConan, like, and Playboy Cardi, you know what I mean? Now I'm next to these niggas. It's unreal. And the funny thing is, like, they're just, you know, regular motherfuckers.
Yeah, you
They're
can meet them there.
It's like,
yeah.
like, I wouldn't even say regular people, but they're human.
And
you know, it's not like, you know, when people see things on TV, they're like, this motherfucker must be some kind of robot, or, you know,
he must have some magic. Yeah.
I'm for real.
Yeah.
Like, I was the same way. Bro.
And I think that's the big difference coming from a small town like Lafayette. You don't get to bump shoulders with people who eventually become something that often, if at all. So it's kind of, you go down there and you're like, you see these people and you're like, man, this is real. These are actual possibilities that can happen for me.
And then people also don't even, like, give it the chance, though, too.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're like, you know, last year before I left, I opened up for Bone Thugs at Lafayette Square Theater, or the Lafayette Theater, and like, that bitch was sold out. I couldn't even believe it. Like, yeah. I'm like, I've never been in a sold out show, let alone opened up for one, and it was like, people genuinely fuck with the music. Like, it was some old shit that I did with T.Y. But motherfuckers was still fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was really on the stage with T.Y., but yeah, it was still shit that I was on, and people was fucking with it, and, you know what I mean, people came out to see me, and, you know, shit like that. And it was funny because the only people who came out to, like, see me were the people from Purdue. Like, every time, like, some shit came out, it was like, even the girls I was with at the time wouldn't even come out type shit.
That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, man, it's rough when you, and I'm going to give some advice right now.
Drop it.
A little split advice. Okay, I'm dropping it right now.
Drop it.
If your girl's not with you, quit that bitch.
Hey.
For real. Like, for real.
Because it's kind of like walking through the mud in that sense. Like, you're trying to get somewhere, but like, you have this thing attached to you that's not helping at all.
Yeah. And it's like, you know what I mean? Even if, like, there's always a way that she can find something in what you're doing. And then make that something that she, you know what I mean, something that she already loves to do. And then she doing it for you, and then she can do it for other people too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all around. Like, my girl is on that shit. Like, I lucked up for real. For real.
So how important would you say? Because you just brought up the Bone Thug show. How important is the stage show for you? Do you even like performing?
It's honestly, it can go either way. If you're a better performer than you are an artist, then I would say perform. You know what I mean? Because you got niggas like Famous Dex, Tekashi 6ix9ine, who else? Like Sheck West. You know what I mean? Trippie Redd. Niggas who have good stage presence. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? The songs are awesome. You know what I mean? But it's not up to the point of like a Drake,
right?
Travis Scott, J. Cole. You know what I mean? Where it's like an actual show. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, there's tiers to the rap game as a whole. So it's not bad. This is crazy because my girl is sending me pictures from the lake. Okay.
Damn.
dead ass. You just send me pictures from the lake. But anyway, yeah, that's the main thing. Like, there's, and people need to also realize that not everybody's story is gonna be the same. So don't fucking think that you're gonna get on like Tekashi got on. So you want to troll and shit now, or you want to do this now. You want to, do it your way. The best way to do anything is the natural way.
Yeah.
Like,
because you can tell when it's not authentic.
Yeah. All these niggas who got, like even on Instagram and shit, you see niggas with like 35K followers, and you like, nigga, I don't even know you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And niggas bought, and they bought them because they only got like 57 likes.
Right.
And I'm dropping game on niggas because niggas get like 57 likes on a picture they dropped like 6 months ago. Like, nigga, all that shit is fake. Putting on the side. Wow. Like, niggas are seeing through that now because it's become so saturated. So motherfuckers will look deeper into it. It used to be motherfuckers will look, oh, you got 35K,
right,
you got 200, you only following 200 people, I'm gonna follow you. You know what I mean? Now they got that follow.
Right.
But now it's, nigga, you only got 3 likes on this picture that you just dropped. This ain't even real.
And it's crazy because now in the game, it's definitely like social media as a whole is a part of it now. Like, you have to know how to hustle that. You can't just be good at music. You have to know how to be out there. And unless you're on a platform where you can have someone do it for you, you gotta hustle at it.
Well, now it's like you have to see yourself as a business. They're putting tighter rings on the shit that's already been out there. You have to be a fucking savage from the jump, which I honestly invite. You know what I'm saying? Because if this shit wouldn't have happened like that, like being in Atlanta is like that, because you got niggas doing shows. You got, you know what I mean? Like, niggas I know that are doing shows. You know what I mean? Like, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you heard of Silk the Prince. I met him when he first came here. You know what I mean? Now this nigga's booming.
Damn.
Like, he was like, I want to say he had like 2,000 followers when he first came here. Now he's got like 20.
Booming.
Or some shit.
Yeah.
And he's from South Carolina. Like, motherfuckers are coming here to get that. They're throwing themselves
into the mix.
Into the mix. You know what I mean? They're like, this is like Job Corps. Like, Atlanta's like Job Corps, I swear to God. Because it'll get you ready for anything. Like,
it's gonna show you whether you can do it or not.
Like, it's regular people. Like, you know how hard it was in Lafayette to like have a motherfucker throw a show.
You got to go through some loops.
You know what I mean? Like, you had to go through this guy, and this had to happen, and then you had to pick a venue. Like, there was only so many venues that you could pick type shit. Like, here, regular motherfuckers are like, females are out here bossing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, taking venues, putting shit on. You know what I mean? We got a couple potential artists that we looking to sign to Trip House that are females like that are booming right now. And the funny thing is, one of them's from Ohio.
Damn. How many people in Atlanta are actually from Atlanta? Because I feel like no one's from Atlanta now. They're just there.
You gotta go to the Bluffs for all that. You gotta go down south. I mean, they're all over, so it's really hard.
Right.
Like,
Can you spot the difference?
She's been here for fucking 8 years. She's not even from Atlanta. She's from fucking PA. But she's been in Atlanta for so long that she knows Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, she's in Atlanta. There's so many people that are not from Atlanta and are from Atlanta that are Atlanta. You know, like, it's so crazy. it's a crazy situation out here. Like
Situation.
you know the brother from Stranger Things, the older brother,
Yeah.
the one that like his brother got lost or whatever.
The oldest one?
That nigga was the oldest one.
Okay.
That nigga was at the bar up the street from me like 2 months ago. Like for World Cup.
That's
like,
crazy.
This shit was unreal. And I'm like, if the stars are that close, like being closer to what you are trying to achieve is so much better for your self-esteem. Like you're like, these motherfuckers do regular shit.
They go to the bars.
These motherfuckers go to the bars. Like they do regular shit. You know what I mean? Like you don't know who you'll see any day. Like it's a crazy ordeal.
Have you been starstruck yet, or is it all just like, ah man, I know who you are?
I ran into Eve at MJQ.
Woo!
I didn't even know it was her. I was so drunk. I was like, my guy who works there, he's like, that's Eve. And I'm like, who? He was like, that's Eve.
Damn.
Eve, Rough Rider Eve.
Damn.
I'm like, oh. I don't know. I went to one music fest and seen like all of TVT records, like the East Side Boys, Trillville, China White,
Take
Pastor
it back.
Troy. I ran into Young Jock at a after hours spot. That shit was hilarious.
Bro, this sounds like my high school playlist right now.
Like that, like your high school playlist is like walking the streets every day.
Damn, I'd be so fucking.
I don't really think I've been too starstruck. I think the only time I was when I kind of seen Father and Obi or Ethereal, and basically all of Awful Records. Faye Webster, oh my God, when I seen her, I almost died. I was like, I cannot believe this is real. Met the guy met the drummer from Arcade Fire.
That's dope.
Yeah, met one of the singers from Fish last week. That was weird.
That was weird.
I didn't even know. He was like, I'm a singer. I was like, for what? He was like, a band called Fish.
Damn.
I'm like, what?
Name drop.
Damn. Justin Pardon. He's super cool. I met Southside's baby mama. Me and Cassie did. And I was like, that was the only starstruck moment. I met the mom of Baby Sizzle. You know what I'm saying? And one of like my biggest influences of life. And she was super cool. You know what I mean? She wasn't bougie. Now she's me and my girl's friend. She's like, she wants to come to the wedding and shit.
That's dope. So,
I met Matumbo.
No.
Yes, bro. At the fucking MLK march, he was in the crowd, and the nigga did the not in my house.
Damn, bro.
Oh my God.
That's sick.
That was the moment. That was the moment.
Was there like beach balls in the crowd and he was just slapping them down? Like, fuck yeah, I'm a
No, it was so funny. He was around like a whole bunch of little ass kids and he was trying to be incognito. And I'm like, nigga, you right there.
You right there. In plain sight.
Yeah, I guess my girl has to talk to like Jeremy Lin's people sometime this week. So I was like, because he's now in the Atlanta Hawks. So yeah, I mean I be meeting people every day. I'm more starstruck by people who do shit, you know, than people who don't.
That makes sense.
Oh, I met DJ Plug. That was a moment.
Did he do?
I got to play beats in front of him and shit.
Oh, that's sick.
In the strip club. You know what I mean? It was fun. plug.
Damn, y'all close.
Yeah, I need to actually get that collab and fucking
real
around.
quick.
But I want to save that for Black Bleach, which is coming after Tributero.
So talk about the project a little bit. When did you start working on it, and when is it gonna drop?
So I actually started working on it last month, and I'm dropping it next Wednesday on Halloween. Tributero is basically an EP.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna have 6 songs on it. I'm high as hell. Anyway, it's really just like the introduction to grunge trap, which is like it's not a genre that I'm creating. It's just one I'm contributing to because you have people like Lil Peep, rest in peace. You got motherfuckers like Smoke Man, Smoke a Sack, people like that are putting on for grunge trap. They just don't really put a box behind it, or the media misread it.
How would you describe grunge rap if you had to break it down for like some like 5-year-old on the street?
When Kurt Cobain and Metro Boomin meet.
Damn. That's
and TM88 and the rest. Matter of fact, just the whole 808 Mafia plus Metro, Dave Grohl,
damn.
Kurt Cobain,
Bars.
Corey Taylor, Jonathan Davis,
Woo!
Fred Durst.
I'm a big biscuit head.
Hey. Deftones, all in just all that.
They had a baby, it would be grunge rap.
Yeah. Yep. And it would sound like me.
So.
Bro. That's really where I get, like, people always ask me, like, what are your influences? Is it like Jay-Z and Nas? Which I listen to them niggas, and they definitely, gave me insight of how to write music and how to appreciate it. But the motherfuckers who really influenced me was like Gavin DeGraw,
right,
and Billy Corgan, and Kurt Cobain, and Chris Cornell, Corey Taylor, like motherfuckers who were rocking out, and niggas didn't, like, people didn't understand. Like, I figured it out, like, niggas can't listen to shit that some niggas can't listen to shit that it takes them a long time to understand. And then when I say niggas, I'm not saying it as like black people.
Right.
Like
Dudes.
Dudes.
Fucking dudes.
But, like, motherfuckers be looking, but, they put so much into a situation. Like, I used to, I still listen to Tool. But the first time I heard, like, Learn to Swim, and he was talking about all the saturation in Los Angeles and how he just fucking hated that shit. And he was just like, I hope a fucking asteroid comes to the shore and blows all this water over it, and then everything is blew up. That shit's awesome as fuck to me.
Right.
Or like, yeah, like they are, like when Korn made fucking Falling Away From Me, they were talking about rape victims and like people being abused. Like, that was the shit that intrigued me. Like, I love the stories. That's why I love Outkast.
For sure.
And Project Pat and 3-6 Mafia and, Crucial Conflict, Do or Die, shit like that. Like, they always told some stories. Like, it wasn't like, you know what I mean, this is happening. It's like, no, this is what happened.
Yeah, the storytellers definitely make a difference. And I don't know, why do you think in hip hop it doesn't happen as much? Or I feel like it did in the beginning, but I think the storytelling aspect has definitely been lost as time went on.
Well, a lot of people are just like getting super fucked up and then getting in the studio. They're like,
Right.
I want to say something. Which is like how, you know, altered minds are. You know, especially when you're drunk or you high, you like, I think I got something cool to say. You know,
Yeah.
like it is a thing. I do it all the time.
And I think there's a place for that for sure.
Yeah, but you know, for people, it's like real motherfuckers, like authors. They have like tape recorders and shit, and motherfuckers will just record. Like they'll just say some shit and then be like, blah 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 blah, and then go back and write it, but write it better. You know what I'm saying?
And then they'll send
Like
it to a pub.
It's like a rough
Yeah.
draft.
I don't think that happens a lot in
Niggas-
rap.
Niggas are now just putting out the rough draft.
Right.
You know, because like it's about the energy. A lot of the new rap, and you know, it's all energy. And if niggas really go back in time, like people are like, oh, this new rap is fucking delirious. Like niggas, they was doing this shit back in the day.
Oh, for
You
sure.
never heard Onyx? Like,
for sure.
what was them niggas talking about, bro? But we all know Slam.
Slam!
Let the boys be
You
boys.
boys!
Slam.
They was just yelling random shit.
Crisscross.
Hey.
Why were we jumping? You know what I'm saying?
Why
Like,
were we jumping?
you know what I mean? Like niggas have been putting out mumble rap. Like
Right.
that shit is old. That shit is old. I seen on the documentary, like, you know how niggas are wearing these fanny packs around their shit now? And then, you know what I mean? Like, it's the new thing.
It's not
I
new.
bet they doing it so bad out there in Lafayette right now.
Well, it's not even that bad. I've contemplated getting one because like no one's doing it, and I would be the trendsetter
Really?
here for sure.
Are you serious?
For
like,
sure.
Niggas are doing it in Atlanta. It is being done in Atlanta.
It is happening as we speak.
You know what's funny? So, you know those mini backpacks that are at Journeys?
Yeah.
So, I bought one like last year before I left. Brought it down here. It's like
Everyone
the
had one?
most talked about thing
Oh,
ever.
word?
Like, everybody's like, where did you get this? I've never seen a mini Jansport.
Damn.
And I'm just like holding back this secret, like, little do you know, it's in the
Right.
cat ball. You see?
Little do you know. Bro, I feel like here I was the first one to wear snapbacks because like Big Sean started to wear them, but no one at my school was wearing them and nothing. So it's like
Niggas was still wearing fitted
for
caps.
sure. And then like I saw this like throwback Cubs hat and it was a snapback. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for Detroit. I'm gonna do it for Sean. And everyone, and then after that.
If you go to Warsaw, niggas is still wearing 4XTs, I bet.
Damn, bro.
I swear to God. Like, Indiana be so late.
That actually fits into something I wanted a little game I wanted to play with you. So I'm going to say some old school stuff, and you tell me if we should bring it back or if it's whack, all right?
All right,
You ready? All right. The throwback jerseys, bring it back or whack?
Actually, they've already been brought back. They are actually wearing them shits all the time in Atlanta.
Damn.
So it's on the way back.
That's on the way.
Trust me, it's on the way.
Hummers and Escalades.
Those also brought back in Atlanta.
Damn.
I swear to
I'm
God,
out of
like,
the loop.
Like, I seen a nigga working on one down the street when I was running. I swear to God, bro.
That's rough. What about? I think it was only really popularized by Criss Cross, but the backwards clothes. We bringing it back or is it whack?
Yeah, that shit ain't coming back.
That shit's it.
Niggas got a piss, and I ain't taking my whole damn underwear down when I'm in a fucking regular bar, because all the bars, there's always
straight back.
I love everything about
right.
Atlanta. Like, its gay scene's cool and shit, but niggas be on attack mode. Bitches be on attack mode too. They will rape you, bro.
Damn, bro.
They got condoms in the bathroom.
So, last question I got is, if you could go back to Kaddy first being in the studio, what advice would you give him?
I would say quit waiting on niggas. Quit waiting on people, man. Like, waiting on people to, you know what I mean, do their thing to where, you know what I mean, the shit excels and then they shit is back, and then now you gotta wait, and then you not doing anything because you waiting on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a number one no.
For sure.
Like, yeah, number one no.
Number one no.
So, yeah, don't do that shit. And I was trying to finish up this Trip Utero thing, but anyway.
No, you go ahead, bro. We got time.
Okay, so my engineer, who's A-Man, his real name's Eamon. His name is Eamon, actually.
A-Man.
But I always say A-Man. So, Trip Utero basically stems from Nirvana's In Utero.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? That's why if you've seen these shirts, well, I'm actually putting out the artwork today.
Ooh.
But it's In Utero is one of my favorite albums, and I was always intrigued by the album cover because it was this like female, like bare, like you could see her veins and shit,
right.
and then she had wings, so it was like this beautiful, grotesque thing. And it really intrigued me, and the music intrigued me, and I was like, this, you know, I'm not really. It was supposed to be Trap Utero, but I was like, I'm not the trap anymore. I'm the trip, which I also gotta tell you about how that came about. But cause I'm a trippy nigga, man. I do trippy shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, go, all out, but when I trip righteously.
Hey.
I produced everything. I got songs like Dive, which is one of the singles that's out right now, which is basically
it's a banger. It's a banger for sure.
It's about teaching, it's like asking someone that you like if they're trying to get into the same shit you're trying to get into.
Why did you pick that song as the first little something you gave them?
Because on Incesticide, Kurt Cobain or Nirvana had a song called Dive, and they had this pick me, yeah, and I was singing that shit for like 3 days in the car because we would play that shit all the time. And then I was like, I should make a cover of this, and then I was like, no, I should make my own song with that kind of feel.
For sure.
And then it was just kiss me, lick me, yeah, fuck him, live me. Like, it was like the shit that I be on when I'm in the club. I'm like, yeah, do all this and fuck your nigga, fuck with me. I Like You, which is a song about basically telling somebody you like them, but they're trying to get something from you, maybe, but you're not. But you're like, if I give you this, is this gonna be worth it? Or you know what I mean? Not. Is it gonna be worth it? It could be anything.
Right.
It could be, a penis or a vagina or a substance, or a drink, whatever. a song called T White,
Hey.
which is dedicated to Bankroll and my brother Feeney, who passed away last year.
R.I.P.
And you knew Feeney.
Yeah.
So yeah, it hurt us a lot,
Yeah.
and he wanted me and Rip to really be the ones. He always knew we were the ones. He was like, y'all motherfuckers are just, y'all can't stop. Like, we really can't. Like, me and my brother, we can't stop making music. Like, this is the only job that we'll ever feel comfortable having.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's what makes us go so, and that's what made Atlanta so for us. It's because, shit, you know what I mean? Like, you have no other choice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You
Like,
either work or get left behind down there.
Yeah, like, niggas will leave your ass behind. Like, this nigga ain't doing shit.
Damn, I was just tying my shoes, bro. Can I get a fucking...
Right. You're like, nah, nigga, take them shits off, get a new pair on the next exit, nigga. We'll get you some on I-20 right now at the gas station.
Hey.
Come on.
And when does that drop again? Just hit him one more time with it.
Right, yeah. That,
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Between the Lines is on there also, which has been out, but it's being remastered.
Okay.
It sounds a whole lot better. And then the last song, which I just added yesterday, is titled "Fool," which is "Faded Out of Love."
Ah, I love acronyms.
Yeah,
it's so perfect.
I wonder if I play this beat, it'll go through.
We can try it. We can always try it over here at Uncle Mike's house. Anything goes.
I'm gonna try it.
This ain't your daddy's house.
Can you hear it?
I can't hear nothing. Nada. Damn. We tried.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Get it going.
Because I can hear it, but you can't.
That is a thing.
Can you hear it now?
Nah, not even a little bit.
Alright. Well, I don't know.
Where can
anyway,
they...
it's called Fool, but it's Faded Out of Love, basically. That's what the situation is. Like, you getting fucked up after a heartbreak.
Ooh.
So
We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
And one day I'll get Mike on the track.
Hey.
And everything will be awesome.
It's gonna happen for sure. And that drops Halloween, right?
Yeah.
And
definitely drops Halloween. Tributero will be on all platforms.
Hey.
Halloween, Spotify. If you don't fuck with me on Spotify, Kaddy Kobain. Twitter, Black Kobain with 3 Ks.
Hey.
It's funny. Anyway,
I like how you had to explain that it's funny.
Yeah, I was just like, that's all it is.
That's just funny.
Instagram, K Kobain, and follow the record label Instagram as well, Trip House ENT. HouseOfTrip.com. That's the homepage for Trip House. You can find shit there as well. We got merch on the way. We got Trip House merch on the way. Got stickers coming.
Hey.
Wristbands, gadgets and gadgets. Maybe our own strain. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that'd be lit.
Yeah, it would be, man.
All right, man. So I think we're gonna wrap it up. I appreciate you coming on today. It's been lit. It was great catching up.
I appreciate you, man. And letting everybody know if they ain't fucking with Mike's house, they gotta get out of mine.
Hey.
All the ways, all the days.
And that's gonna be it, y'all. So I'm gonna need you to get the fuck out the door. Don't let it hit you in the ass. And until next time at Uncle Mike's house, we gonna say peace.